Hi, everyone. I'm Anna from GreenGeeks, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar Blog Editor 101, Getting Started with the WordPress Blog Editor with Alfredo Navas, Senior Front-End Engineer at Web Dev Studios. We're very happy to have you here, Alfredo. And real quick, I want to say a couple of words about GreenGeeks for those of you who are watching and may not be familiar with us. We're a 300% green energy web hosting provider, which essentially means we put back 3 times the amount of energy we consume into the grid in the form of renewable energy. And we have been recognized by the US EPA since 2009 as a Green Power Partner. We offer shared hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, and dedicated server. So now, moving on to our webinar, a few housekeeping items. Please, if you have any questions that come up during the presentation, put them in the Q&A and Alfredo will be answering them at the end of his presentation. And you're welcome to chat in the chat room. Just remember to select everyone if you want everyone to see what you're discussing. And as always, we're recording this and we will be sending a YouTube link with the recording in the next couple of days with an email. And finally, we have enabled live transcription for this webinar. So you now have the ability to enable them during the webinar by clicking on the show captions icon. So now that's all that out of the way, I'm going to introduce Erica Barbosa from our GreenGeeks team, who will be assisting with the chat and Q&A. Hey, Erica, do you want to say hi?
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everyone. I am Erica Barbosa. I am from Costa Rica, and today I'm going to be assisting the chat. And I hope you enjoy today with Alfredo, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Erica. I'm going to say a few words about Alfredo. Alfredo is a skilled senior front-end engineer at Web Dev Studios. He collaborates on projects for well-known brands. And with over 15 years of experience, he's recognized for crafting plugins and presenting at WordCamps. Alfredo's expertise lies in JavaScript and PHP and is a fervent supporter of open source. Additionally, he operates a small boutique alongside his wife, specializing in website development. Welcome, Alfredo. Would you like to say hi and start your presentation?
Hi, hello. How are you? Yeah, my name is Alfredo Navas, and I will be your guest on this webinar. In this webinar, we'll be looking into what is the block editor, how fast you can create patterns and templates, and how from the editor you can create your ideas directly. I'm going to divide this webinar into a small introduction of what the block editor is. Then we are going to jump into a live demonstration of what you can do with the editor. We are going to explore a few blocks like the group block, the query block, the cover block, and the navigation block. We also going to be checking the new font manager when you can now put your own fonts into the editor without any plugin or custom code. Then we are going to jump into block patterns and template parts, what they are, what you can do. And then next we have adding my styles, how I can, customize the editor with my own styles. And finally, we are going to build the pattern. We are going to do a hero pattern, a query block pattern. I'm going to show you how you can paste patterns from the pattern library in WordPress. And finally, we are going to put all this together into a landing page. So yeah, let's start. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, this is the one. And let me know if you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. We are going to have a small introduction into what the block editor is. So, before Gutenberg and before everything, the editor was the part that we, put the content, maybe add a few widgets and display the page. We have at that time the WYSIWYG. People still use it and still love it. But then they came with the blocks. So first we have Gutenberg. So we have all this collection of blocks that we can put together to start building our page. Then on the second step, they have the block editor. So now we have Gutenberg into the post pages and also on the editor, and we are going to see how it is. So let me just quickly. Well, first, when you get into the dashboard, if you are familiar with the current versions of WordPress and you are using a block theme, because this is important, in order to the block editor to work, you need to use a block theme. Most of the classic themes, or what they call it, hybrid themes, support a few things from the editor, but to fully work with the editor, you will need a block theme. So in this case, I'm using the 2024. This is the latest theme from WordPress. So now we are going to the editor. So I haven't do anything. This is the default setting. We can see that now we have our navigation here. We used to have the menu under appearance before. Now that doesn't, we don't have that anymore. Now we have the navigation block. Here is when you create your navigations. You can edit. You can edit the page list. Right now, I'm just getting a page. All by default, I install WooCommerce, so I get this navigation by default. Then we have the styles. So this is where we can see all the styles of that specific theme. We have style variations. And here we can change our typography. We can choose our colors. This is the color palette that comes by default. This is the layout. And so on. We can have all our blocks also here, so we can style them per block if you like to. And I don't know if you remember the customizer. Well, we still have it. We have it under the styles. So if you're looking for the customizer and you don't find it, look into the editor and you will see it here underneath. What else we have? Now we have pages. This is basically the pages you have on your website. This is some pages I create randomly. We have the blog home, let's say the sample page, that would show the sample page, the status, and you can, if you click on this, you can think that you are editing the page, but if you click again, it would allow you to edit the template because this is not the place to edit a page. Then what else we have? Then we have the section for the templates. Here is we can see all the templates. We have custom templates. We have the WooCommerce templates. Because I installed WooCommerce, we can go to the pages and we can see that this is how the template work. And as you can notice, it's a Gutenberg page. It's exactly as what we are used to. We have our template part. We have a group with some of the blocks. We will see in detail in a bit. I'm going to leave because I'm not going to save anything. And I think we missed one, last one, the most, I think for me, the most of the important ones, which is the patterns. So here you can see a list of all the patterns that this specific theme has. They have a bunch, and you can also pick a pattern from somewhere else. So this is basically how the editor works. But if we just check, let's go back. Over here, we have a search commands to look for specific areas. I'm sorry. We have our search command. So we can look for archive, blog, index. All these are templates. And we can look for styles, pages. And when we want to see our design, we can just click here and we can see it here, right? So far, so good. This is basically what the editor is. This is what you are going to see, but then how we are going to work on this, right? So one of the things we can get into the all pages. We can see, right, a page we only have, it's just a collection of blocks, paragraph, code, paragraph. Nothing new over here. So if we go to the themes, to the editor, I want to show you the navigation block. So the navigation block, let's say we are going to create our first navigation, right? Where should I start? I will start with a template part. So I'm going to go, let me just go slow. Under patterns, we are going to click patterns, and we can see that we have two links here. One says manage all my patterns and manage all my template parts. There is not much difference if you're looking into the editor, how template parts are different from regular patterns. This is, I think, more for theme developers. If we go to the file, we can see the patterns here. We can see the parts, and that's a template part. We have our footer, and basically what we are doing is we are adding a pattern into the footer, which is our template part. But if in Reason, if you go to template parts and manage all my patterns, you don't see any difference. So we are going to create a navigation, right? So we are going to hit here, or we can go here, and we can see all our template parts. You can filter, and I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to put it navigation new. Where this going? This is going to be on the header. I'm going to create my template part. And again, this is just a regular Gutenberg page. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a navigation block. So we can click, slash and whatever block you want, or you can just simply go to the inserter, look for the navigation block, and you can just add it here. So let me just remove this paragraph on top. Okay. So now I have a previous one, but I don't like this menu, so I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to add some custom item. This is how you add pages into the navigation. Think at every link as same as a block. So you can simply go to the settings here. Then we have our block, and we have some controls here. So in the list view is where we are going to add our blocks, and we have this list of blocks. So we can get a page link, which will bring all the pages and posts that you are creating on your theme. A custom link, a spacer, if you want to add some spaces between your link. Bottoms, the page list. This will list all the pages you have created on your website. And finally, a search. So I'm going to add a page link, let's say the sample page. Yes. I'm going to add the home link. So we already have like a small block for the homepage link. We can add it here. Let's get a custom link. I'm going to put here services. And I will show you how you can add later the link. Like if you click on the services right now, there is no link, but you click it here and you can add the link you want. So in this case, yes, let's add GreenGeeks.com. We are going to save that, and there we have. I think we are missing one. Let's say, I don't think I have a contact page, so let's just do like a contact us. Contact us. And let's create another one that's going to be name block. Sorry. So This is going to be contact, but I don't have contact, so I can edit it here. Oh yeah, services sample, okay. So now we have our template part, and from here, we can start working on it. We can set like, oh, I want all my items justified to the center. Over here, you can choose if you want your navigation mobile or just, mobile when you are in mobile, sorry, and always mobile if you like. So if I click here, this is going to show like this all the time. But if I want to, this is helpful when you have like a bunch of menus, you have like a big menu and you wanna, you just want your your links on one place and then add another navigation, but just mobile. So that will make the trick. Or you can just simply disconnect it. So now you can control here the text, the background, the submenus, and the submenu overlay background. So let's make an example. I'm going to change this and I'm going to add a submenu here. You can see this little icon here on the top. Is my screen big enough? Yes? Yep. Okay. So here is how you add submenus. So you can click here. You have the sample page. So we are going to add a custom link here. Let me put it another link. And HTTPS google.com. And we have our another link here. Now we can see our own navigation. I'm going to save what I did so far. And you can see like we have our template part, navigation new and navigation menus. We can remove this and save it so we can have another navigation and we are not replacing the first one. And finally, we can go here when it says typography. Most of the time, we don't see all the options we have until we click here. But the typography, you can have the font family, the appearance, the line height, the letter spacing, text decoration, and the letter case. So I'm going to choose Inter for my font. I'm going to use a custom size, let's say 16 pixels. The appearance, I'm gonna have it semi-bold. We have our light side, and let's put some small. I want it to be in uppercase. I'm going to save this. And how I'm going to test this, I need to put this somewhere in order to check them out. So I'm going to return to my page. I'm going to my templates. I'm going just to pick the pages template. And I'm going to edit them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add my new template part. So I think if we go to navigation, new, second, patterns, where are my template parts? I'm sorry. I'm going to add a new insert after. I'm going to move this. I'm going to template part. And I'm going to choose my template part. So from here, you can start blank if you want to create a template part, or you can just choose the ones you just created. And I'm going to look for it's this one? No, it's not this one. I need to go back and see where my pattern go. Okay, let's go back. Patterns. I want to show my template parts, navigation new, it's over here. Okay, so I'm going to call it again. Okay, leave, yes. Sometimes I need to refresh. I don't know if it's because I'm using this locally. If I go to over here, I'm going to edit. I'm going to remove this header, and I'm going to insert my new template part.
Hey, Alfredo, I'm sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you. I see some comments that like people are confused about your terminology. If you can maybe like explain a little bit more,
Okay.
like template parts, and sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So a template part is just a piece of block that you are going to reuse in your templates. When I said in the beginning, like there is not a big difference between a template part in a pattern, and they are actually in the same place on the editor. So a template part is just a piece of block that we are going to use in our template. So it's usually used for the sidebar, for the footer, or for the header. That's their main use so far. So if we go to manage all template parts, we can see that we have a footer, a header, sidebar, post meta, the navigation we just create, a mini card. So all these are sections that means to repeat themselves, right? So use it in a template part. That's how they call it, template parts. In PHP, there is a function in WordPress that it's named a template part, which is the same function, which is just grab a piece of content and put it somewhere. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question. You can interrupt me anytime. I have no problems explaining every part.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the difference between patterns and template parts is like template parts are using for a specific places and repeat it on all your templates. And patterns is like you can use it in different places, no matter if it's your page, your homepage. Well, that sounds similar. So I guess it's just a matter of WordPress and telling us how we can keep the separation of concerns without confusing more than it's confused now. So if we go back to our template and I'll go into my page and I edit my page where we start. And so far I'm going to add before. We have this control, so add before. I like to use my keyword. So if I type navigation new, we can see our template part here. And if we save it, I'm going to save this template. I'm going to view the site. And I'm going to the sample page. You can see here the dropdown. So now I'm going to change the colors. And if we go, smaller, we can see our what I notice is like on mobile, the sub menus tend to show all the time. And this is something from WordPress default. So any questions regardless the navigation block so far? It makes sense how the menu works now, how you can edit your navigation.
There's questions, but I think they're in the Q&A, so.
Okay, we can wait. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the navigation block. So other block which is super helpful and we need to use it, like that's the WordPress way. So most of the time when we are working in something, like let's say I have a column, right? Or let's say we have a column, 50-50. I'm going to add an image here. We can choose from the media library. I'm going to pick up one that I already have. I'm going to select this and I'm going over here and let's put some content. Let me grab some content from here. And we can see it like this. So I don't like it. So I want this to be aligned middle. Same with this one. Let's see, I want to align middle, so it's like this. So this is just a basic column block, but most of the time it will be better if we wrap it on a group, right? A group is just a wrapper of all our contents. Why? Because we can change the width, right? We can change to use we can change to use more width that we already set. We can also add colors. We can add a color. We can add paddings, and we can now name, we can add classes. Let's say this is the column wrapper, my column wrapper. We can put a name so we can have more order into what we have. So this, let's call it this 50, 50, sorry, 50, 50 block. We can set like, I don't want to use, this is going to be a section. You know, if we want to follow all the HTML conventions. And this is the block, but this group block also have other settings. Like when you choose a group block, you will see these three options and what they mean. What's the difference between this and this from the columns, right? So basically we have more flex control over here. So if we are going to work into, let's say into a hero, and we want the things escalated and control the distance, I would like to use, arrange my blocks this way or this way. And we can have all the justifications and we can control the distance between blocks. Rather than use margins, we can just use simply block spacing. And this is going to be applied to all the blocks that are inside that. So let's do the same. Let's add an image, our media library, like this one. And on the other, on my other block stack, I'm going to add another paragraph. Get this over here. Add my paragraph, and we have the same controls that we have with the group. We can add a background. We can add a padding, or we can just add a block spacing, right? So blocks will arrange from top to bottom over here. And on the other version, they are going to arrange from left to right with the same distance. Before this, we have to work with the margins and the paddings, and maybe it's not the same distance. But with this option into the group, it's better to work with layouts. Any questions so far with these two blocks that we see, or something that caught your attention?
Again, someone was saying if you could show the your save template again, how to call on your save template again.
Oh, how I do all this again? Yeah, of course.
Now, how did you get to the saved template? You showed it in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, well, right now this is a page and I'm doing all into a page. If I go, okay, so I can do states blocks. I'm saving. And we go to view page. This is just a page. This is just blocks. This is just simply blocks. So we can also do, we can also put this group into a column. Let me just add another column here. Before. Column. So we can put the group into a column and a column into a group and so on, so on, so on. For example, I will do a group. So I'm going to do this part on a template so you can see the difference. So I'm going to show one last block before going into the patterns. We can see all this together into a much design way. So the other one who I think it's very important is the query block. So what the query block does, the query block show all your posts. So I'm going to choose, we can choose a template. Once you drop it, you can choose a template or start blank. I will choose we have all these templates by default. I want something simpler. Let's do this one. So now that I'm gonna have the query block, you will see that you have this post template block. But this post template block, what it does is wrap everything that we have that we want to show. So from here, I have all these posts. And I just want to change the way it displays. I'm going to change it to grid view. So the first thing I'm going to look is into the settings that we have. We can use the content width or the inner block width or outside. And then this is the force page below. This is not part of Gutenberg. This is something I'm going to show you at the end. Same, we can add classes. We can change to whatever we want. We change to main, to section. And then we are going to the settings of the query. So over here, I can show as a list view or as a grid view. I prefer a grid view. I'm going to remove the columns. Oh, I don't like the columns. And I'm going to add a group inside. Group. I'm going to use it like this, yeah. Inside, I'm going to put, let's say I want to show the feature image. I'm going to show the feature image of my block. I'm going to change this to this. You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So next, I'm going to show, I'm going to show the title, right? We need our title. I'm going to show the title. This is another block that we have. Sorry, slash title. And I'm going to change this to this. Okay, what else I want to put? Let's say I'm going to add my category too. So I'm going to use add before. And I'm going to add the categories. So now we have this. I would like to make it as a list here. We'll work in this in a bit. So from here, I can start working on this. So I'm going to justify center. You know what? I don't know why I wanted column. Oh yeah, this is column 2. Okay. Yeah. So now we have the feature image. I have the feature image in very different sizes, which I don't like. So I'm going to make it with all of them. I'm going to put it into 320 height width. So let's do it square. Yeah, let's do it a square. Let's remove this. Let's do it cover. 320. Yes, 320, that's fine. So I'm going to add a group over here because I really enjoy and love groups. I'm going to give him more space. Same with the query look. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to add a nice background. Let's do it this. You know what? Let's make the group full width. Yes. And now that we have this, I only want to show, so I don't want to show this, which is the hello world. I'm going to my post template, going to my query loop, my settings here, post template, columns, elements. Okay, we have my stack, post template. Oh, it's funny. I don't see one of the options. I'm trying to look for it. Where I can control how many of this I add, but I don't see it. It should be here. But I think why is that? Because I'm using it on a page. But this is basically what we can do on the query block. And now I'm going to, let's style this a bit. I'm going to select my group. I'm going to add some padding on the top. I'm going to allow the feature image to link to my post. I don't want to open on new tabs. The categories, I like it white. And I want to change the color when over. So we have this new field underneath when you can play with the over color. So I'm going to make it red. And same with the title, make title link. I'm going to keep my text white. And my link is going to be red. I still feel like I can add a bit of a spacer here. So I'm going to add before. And I'm going to add a spacer here. So a spacer is another block. I don't know if you are an old developer than me. When we use on HTML, we used to have a div, but we call it a spacer. And it's basically to do this. So let's make it 50 pixels. I'm going to update this. I'm going to view my page. And why it's not showing? That's weird. It's loading. Oh, yeah, it's loading. I don't know what it's not showing. I'm going to show you how to do it in a pattern in a bit, and we are going to see what's going on here. If I save it, and it's not loading. Oh, it's basically WordPress doesn't want to print my template parts. I'm sorry, this is live coding. It usually happens. But I don't want to spend too much time debugging this. So let's move to the font manager. And once I create a pattern, I'm going to use the query block and we are going to do it again. So now for the font, let's say we want a new font. Before that, we have to install a plugin. Now WordPress gives us a way to upload our fonts. So we just go to the typography and we can click here and that will load the library. This is the fonts you have. You can enable or disable, or you can upload your own font. So I'm going to look for Polish, and I'm going to upload all of this. We can choose whatever. WordPress allow us to use any extension. It can be TrueType, it can be WOF or WOF or WOF2. I like WOF2 because it's more a modern way, but if you don't have it in handy, You can just use your own. Use any of these options. I'm going to open this. So it will load all our fonts. Hurry up. Oh, it's loading. I don't know, it's taking too much. Oh, by the way, I'm using WordPress Studio. I don't know if you know this before, but WordPress Studio, it's a way to work on your computer locally. It creates a server, it creates a MySQL database, it install WordPress, and you can just start to use it like that. It's just new. I don't know if that's what's going on here. I'm going to just upload one. Yeah, let's upload one. That will be it. What's going on with this? Let me just refresh this. It's taking a bit longer than before. If I go to, I'm going to my styles, I'm going to my typography, I'm going to here, I'm going to upload a font once again. I'm going to upload one. See, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with this. I tested, but it uploads the font, but this is how you upload fonts. I don't know what is wrong with this. I've been doing this before. So let's get one more time. I upload this, enter, and these two. But something it's not working fine today on my live test. But the font manager allows to do that. What I did is, I did it last night. I installed this font, enter, by follow the step you just did. I'm sorry, I think it could be an issue with my Studio One. Let me try on this instance really quick to see if I can change that. There is a question from raised hand. I don't know. Let's do with WAF. Maybe it's because WAF 2. I don't think so. Maybe let me just do a quick inspect and see what's the error here. Failure to load. No. Well, it's not throwing any error, so it's probably my install from WordPress Studio. If I try this other one, let me see. This is very similar to what I'm using 2024. If I go to my styles, go to typography. I want to add my typography. Font. Let's try this. Maybe it's the font, because it doesn't allow me to upload any font. Yeah, I promise I will check that what's going on. So, okay. So in the real world, when you upload your font, you will see it in your styles over here, as I see it here. And you can go there and start selecting the elements you want to use that font. So for example, on my headings, I'm using Cardo, but I don't like it. So I'm going to change to Inter. And that will apply to all the headings. And now your typography, it's going to be used the one you just uploaded. One other thing. So now that we are here on the styles, I'm going to show you what I really want to build for you. I'm going to show you how we are going to build this landing page, and we are going to turn it into a pattern. and then we are going to add it into the template. I'm going to do all this from the editor. So with the time we have, I think we have like 15 minutes left. So let's create this pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do.
Hey, Alfredo, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was thinking that maybe we can go through some of the Q&A before you start the pattern. Is that
Perfect.
okay?
Yes. Yes.
Because so that
No,
people
so I know it's a lot to cover with the new editor.
Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple of questions. Rich was asking, how can you tell if a theme is a block theme or a classic theme?
Okay, that's a good question. Once you go to the themes and you go to theme details, it should be set, you should be see this create block theme here. 2022 is, I think it's not a block theme. Let me see, activate. No, this is a block theme too. Yeah, that's a good question. I think on WordPress, when you are looking into themes, there is like a special section for block themes. If we do go into the live preview of the theme here, you can see that it's a block theme also because it just fire the editor right away. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess looking into WordPress.org when you're looking for a theme and specifically check for a block theme.
Okay. We have Barbara asking, what is the difference between templates and patterns?
Well, pattern is just a group of blocks putting together, and the template is your whole page. But template part is very similar to a pattern, but is for using in a specific parts like header, footers, sidebars. That's for template parts. But a template is your whole page. It's like a black canvas. You can add a pattern into a template. You can add content into the template. You can add template parts, and so on.
Okay. Marcia was asking earlier, what is the theme called again with the blocks? The theme you were working on.
Oh, this is the default 2024 theme. So all the blocks that you see here comes with the theme, and most of them are core blocks. No, there is not blocks that come with the theme. I do have a few more because I installed WooCommerce, so I have some of the WooCommerce blocks. I think this is a good opportunity for another one, another webinar on how to use the WooCommerce blocks. But yeah, all the blocks that you see here, for example, on the editor, the ones we see on the styling are core blocks. There is the only ones that are different that doesn't come are all the WooCommerce one, like feature product, mini cart. All those are WooCommerce blocks.
Okay. So Rich is asking, what are the types of themes and how can they be distinguished from one another?
Well, this is the good part. Like, for example, if you go and you modify 2024, right? You modify a lot. You do all this on the editor. So you say, how am I going to export this? Let's say I'm working locally. I need to ship this to a client, but I do everything on the editor. The WordPress people, the WordPress folks have this plugin, and it's calling create block theme. So from here, you can export your site, export 2024 with the changes you just did. You can create a child theme. You can clone it. You can override what you have. you can create a black theme, or if you only change styles, you can export your style variation. That's how you export them. And from here, you can, you can create a name. Let's say as I'm going to create a child. So you can put your theme, your description, everything that comes on the style sheets, and choose your screenshot, your tags. Let's see if block theme. Well, we have block editor patterns, but I don't see a block theme option. And this is a good question to raise to the WordPress people. Like, hey, how can I know if it's a block theme when I'm looking into WordPress.org? So from here, with this plugin, you can export all whatever you just did on the editor, if that answered your question.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we go back to the presentation and then we'll tackle the last Q&As after.
So, okay, from one part, I want to create a pattern. So for that, I'm going to the patterns. I'm going to hit the plus button, and rather than create a template part, I'm going to create a pattern. And this is something I'm going to show you too. When you create a pattern, you will see this checkbox here that says sync it. What this means, pattern is a mix of blocks that you can put all together, but once you put it on your page, you can modify it, right? So that pattern is not going to be the same pattern as the one you have on the editor. But if you do a synced pattern, every change you do to that pattern, it's going to be applied on every page that is using that pattern. So I'm not going to create a syncing pattern now. I'm going to create a landing page pattern. I'm going to try to do as fast as I can. I can create my my categories. I'm going to select a few ones. Pages. I'm going to do feature. And finally, I'm going to do hero, which doesn't exist. This category doesn't exist, but I'm going to create it. And I'm going to create. And I don't know why it's taking that much. Okay. So again, this is a black canvas, a blank canvas. So I'm going to try to replicate this pattern that we have here in a less amount of time. So for that, I'm going to use the cover block. I'm going to click the cover block. I'm going to media library. I'm going to upload a file. I'm pretty sure I have that file somewhere here in all my files. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It was here. Yes. Okay. So I'm open this. So first we have our pattern here. I really like to add an overlay. So I'm going here. I'm going to use a custom color. So I'm going to make it more purple. So I'm going to do this by eye. Okay, I'm going to put it a little bit. So now what we have next, we have on top, I'm going to add a group. I'm going to use this layout. So here, the first thing I want to do is my navigation new. You can see it here. This is the one I create. So I'm going to align everything to the center. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, sorry, it's this one. I'm going to add this code. I'm going to just copy it. That's my email. So you can always use this. I prefer to use this because sometimes you get confused where to add it. So I just insert it all the time. This is the startup tree. Now I'm going to add a heading that it says, forget about code. I can do it with no code tools. And finally, we have this excerpt. And at the end, I have a button that says create an account. So far, we have the content. So now I'm going to work on this. I'm going to edit this. I want this to be white. I want my navigation to be white. Text is going to be white. I'm going to save it. And I'm going back to my pattern. Okay. Now this is going to be white too. I'm going to use Inter as my font. And family, one Inter. This is my heading. Same thing. I wanted to use the text is going to be white. I'm going to use my font family. It's going to be Inter. Same with this. I'm going to be this aligned to the center. Text, white. Now the bottom. Okay, for my bottom, I'm going to extract the color that we have here from my Figma file. It's this, no, sorry. Trying to get this centered. Okay. Oh God. So I'm going to select this color and grab it from my Figma. And it's here. So, okay, the background is going to be a custom one. We can be added this into the styles if we want. Now, if I'm not wrong, it has like a radius. Let's do it 99 pixels, so I'm making sure. So if I compare this, let me see, left, I'm going to hide this and this. Let's see how close we are. I think we are kind of far. But we're getting there. So now for this, I think I need to make this a little darker. I'm going to make it darker. And I'm going to use the same overlay we are using on the bottom. Yeah, let's make it a little bit. It's getting there. Okay, now I want to separate this. So what I will do here is adding a spacer block. So I'm going over here. Oh, not before. No, I need my full screen to work with this. Okay, I'm going to add spacer. And I'm going to work a bit with, I'm going to add another spacer here, duplicate. And now what I need is a little padding on top. I would like to have more padding. Reduce this a bit. So we kind of have now let's change the font. I want this, the size, I want to be 7 pixels. And we are really close to this mockup we have just here. And it took me 3 minutes. Okay, now we have our pattern here. And now I want to add it into every page. So we have this test block. So I want to add my pattern I just create. So I can just hit the inserter. I go to patterns. Remember, I create this category. It doesn't exist, but we have it here, hero. We add it here. I want to change something because this needs to be full width. And the one inside, this needs to be white width. So I'm going to save this. And we have our pattern. We create our pattern. We have it into inserted. We can use it everywhere. And yeah, this is how you make patterns and how you can add it into any. So the same with the page we just did, you can do it in the template. What I will do in a template is maybe the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my pattern. Once again, I'm going to duplicate it and we are going to do some changes. Manage all my patterns. Taking time, my patterns. I want to duplicate this. So yeah, what I'm going to do is this is something really nice from WordPress. You can copy, go back, and I'm going to create a new pattern. Hero posts. Create. I'm going to paste it here, the pattern just create, and I'm going to change a few things here. On the cover block, I want to change it to use feature image. So what it will do, right now you are not going to see anything, but eventually, so here I'm going to change it I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add before, and I'm going to replace it with the title. I'm going to apply the same styles I did before. Typography, size 70. And my font family is going to be Inter. I'm going to remove this one. And I can also change this to be the excerpt block. So I'm going to change this to excerpt. I'm going to put the text in white. And I just want to make sure my font family is Inter. I'm going to leave the rest the same. And I'm going to publish. So now we can grab this pattern, go into our editor, go into our templates. Let's say, where is my post template? Single post. I'm going to edit my single post. And I'm going to remove this. And instead of that, I'm going to style my new pattern. Let me just use the inserter because I don't remember how I name it. No, yeah, here. Okay, so I'm going to put it on top. I'm going to delete this and I'm going to save this. And I'm changing the single post template. So if we go to my pages, or from my post, I have all my posts here. I'm going to see this one. There you go. Now you don't need to worry about heroes. It will be dynamically created with anything you have on your pattern. So yeah, let's shoot all the questions.
Okay, we're sort of out of time, but let's see what we can do.
Yeah, one last thing I want to show you. I'm going to recommend some plugins that it makes easy for you to work. And well, we see the Create Blog theme. We also have the Performance Lab. All these plugins are for the WordPress people. And Performance Labs allows you to make your site faster. You can also convert images into WebP or AVIF. It does for you, so it helps a lot. Create blog theme, you can export whatever you just did. And block animation, I think this is super fun. It adds animation to your to your pages. For example, if I want my this picture to bounce in when the user scroll to the page. Let's see if I see my view post. Whoop. It adds small animation. It's fast, but and yeah, finally, this is me, and this is where you can find me. And yeah, let's go with the questions.
Yes, thank you. David is asking, is it still useful to build child themes? I think that used to be best practice.
Yes, it could be, but in blog themes, you can start blank, right? And yeah, child themes are not going anywhere. But as you can see, your website can just be one blank page and you can start create everything from scratch. But if you are just in 2024, I will recommend to create a child theme because what we know about, when an update comes to 2024 and you do some changes, it probably remove it. So a child theme will be the smartest way.
Oh, still good. Emily is saying, I have an old site using theme 2012, and I wanted to update it to 2024. Should I simply change the theme and then review each page and make updates where needed? Or should I build a new site somehow and ask GreenGeeks, I guess, to help me to switch from the old to the new? What is the best procedure to make an overall change like this?
Okay, 2012. First of all, you have to check if it works with the latest version of WordPress, like 6.5. And if it works, I will recommend you like start little by little, like going from 2012 to 2021, which I think is the first blog theme, because it still have some hybrid things. So you can start looking what breaks and start making the changes. I like to start fresh. I would say like, yeah, go over, just your content is going to be there. So just switch it and start fixing whatever it's broken.
Thank you. Amit is also asking, how can I get images to line up in a horizontal row or in a gallery type grid in the block editor?
You can use the column block. And right now, you can also use the query block to just pull up the images and use it for, for a grid. But it's coming right now. If you install the Gutenberg plugin, you will see on the groups the CSS grid option. But so far it's experimental, but it's coming to WordPress, probably 6.6. But yeah, I would recommend you to use the group block and columns.
Okay. Okay. Rich is okay. Rainer, I guess, is asking another question on revisions. How do we see all of the revision we made? For example, the homepage suddenly adding an extra padding on the right side, but I don't know which element that caused that. How to search, find that in block settings. Inspecting browser doesn't tell me much.
Well, right now, there is all these pages. I don't think I have a revision, but if we go, oh yeah, we have it. If we go to manage all my templates, and the same will be for all of the blocks and patterns, you will see this small reload here, like a reset. This will reset. Right now, they don't have a way to revisit templates, but it's coming. All this is in GitHub. So basically what you can do is you can just reset whatever change you did. And that will go back to their initial. On the template part, I don't think that we have an option to check the revisions at the moment. Like we used to have on posts, right? When on a post, you can see whatever change. I think, Yeah, I don't know when it's coming to the editor, but I know it's been in talks to get revisions into that.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Rich is asking, I have to ask how you're working locally. What's the install?
Yeah, well, I prefer to use local by is WP local, but lately we have WordPress Studio is how it's calling. Um, yeah, it's a studio by WordPress. You can just Google it. I can paste the link sooner, but it's called WordPress Studio, and it's free for download. You can just download and runs on Mac, not on Windows yet, but if you work on a Mac, you can use it. Yeah.
Oh, it's Mac only, because the next question was if it was available for Linux, if there are any other options.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I think it's only for Mac at the moment. Yeah, it's only for Mac so far. Yeah, two classes with Linux and Windows, but they're coming, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Then we have, I guess Marisa is asking if there will be time to cover the landing page demo and the use of the JSON theme. I don't believe we have time because we're actually out of time.
I don't know. It's up to you. We can create a second part of this time ahead, any other moment, and hopefully the manager thing is fix it, and we can, we can make it to build a template as time allows.
Yeah. So Barbara is saying the styles tab is missing from my block editor. What could be the reason for that? The styles tab.
The styles tab. That could be a bug, I think, because it's everywhere. Which version are you using of WordPress?
Oh, I'm not sure.
If you have the last one, it should be there. I mean, it's been always there. Are you using theme JSON, maybe?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because it's there on the style. So you don't see this tab? So if you don't see this tab, it's something wrong there.
She's saying she's using the latest version of WordPress and she cannot see the style tab.
Yeah, that could be, and that could be the theme. I would recommend you to try one of the 2024 theme and see if you can see the style tab. And if your theme doesn't show you, maybe it's a setting that doesn't allow you to edit their theme, maybe.
That's a good suggestion. Well, I think we're out of time, and I want to thank you. Could you share the screen again with your contacts in case
Sure.
people want to
Right
connect
away.
with you if they have any questions after this presentation? Thank you, Alfredo. Great.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we'll be sending the recording in a couple of days. So for those of you who want to follow it again, and and if you have any questions, you can always contact Alfredo or myself. So
Yeah, happy to answer any question
yeah.
you have. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. We will have another webinar in a couple of months. It will be on an SEO type of topic. So just look out for our webinars at greengeeks.com/webinars, but we will be also sending an email with that information. And thank you, Alfredo. Thank you, Erica, for your help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you, Anna.
we'll
And
see
thank you.
everybody soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.